In this video, we're going to add our bathroom and some shafts at the back of the stair. So on Moodle, I have the families that we're going to be loaded up there so that we can see them and get them inserted into our drawings. So let's go to Moodle. And so I've got them under the week 8. I had them previously on week 7, but the videos for week 7 were like an hour long. So I decided to hold off on adding the bathrooms. So we're going to do the bathrooms this week. So you can see here that I've got the urinal stalls, the bathroom partitions, some dispensers, sink, and some other equipment that we're going to add to these bathrooms. So most companies will have now Revit families. So if you go to Bobrick is a common um, equipment that is used in the bathrooms. So if you go to their products and then you click on any of their products, typically they'll have uh, the families that you can download for them. And so what I did is I went through and determined what kind of typical equipment that they have available and is usually found in the public restrooms in like an office building, and downloaded this for us. And so here's another company, Bradley Core, has um, other equipment like handrails and hand rails for the grab bars for the bathrooms, and they also have the partitions that we're going to use. So if you select on each of these links and hit download, and then you can save them into the folder. I've already downloaded all these, but I'll download them again just to make sure that they're all working. Since I've already downloaded them, you can see when I go to save them, if I don't have them already on here, there's a little one in brackets. I believe this one is in one of these folders that I've downloaded, but I'm going to save them all in my oops, I don't want to download that one again. I'm going to save them into these, particularly into the specialty equipment folder, as all of these are going to be specialty equipment. And the only thing that will be different will be the sink will be located. We'll putting that in plumbing fixtures, and I'll show that once we get there. So bathroom sink here, we'll download. We'll go back up into our main families folders, create a plumbing fixtures folder. I'm assuming by now you know how to create a folder. If you go to view or right click in the space and then go down here to new and then folder, and then create a plumbing fixtures folder, and then we'll just save that right in the main folder. And then the rest of these can go in the specialty equipment. I'm having to override them because I've already downloaded them and created a bathroom. So the sink is the only one that will be in the plumbing fixtures folder. All right, so now we got them all downloaded. Make sure you download all these, and then we'll get to it. Before we start creating our bathroom, if you go to, I believe it is page, is that right? Page 30 in your book. Let me just make sure that the digital copy is the same as the hard copy, if you have the hard copy. And yes, it is page 30. Sometimes the pages are a little bit off on the electronic copy. We're going to model our bathrooms similar to this layout here. We're going to have these stalls. We're not going to use this wall for this stall. We're just going to use a regular stall. And we have different sinks that we're going to put in. But here's some of the fixtures we're going to use that we just downloaded. And we're going to make this entry, the doorless entry, similar to this. So if we take note, the 32, it's about 33 feet by 12 foot 8. And so we'll go ahead and model our bathroom like that. So the first thing we'll do here is we're going to go to Architecture tab and select Wall. And we're going to want to choose let's choose the this 3 5/8 inch wall. So let's use the 4 7/8 partition 1 hour. But we're going to edit the type and duplicate this because this will just be a non-rated wall. And I believe we're going to make this 4 1/4, but let's check here in a second. Let's just name it interior border partition chase. So for now we'll call it interior 4 1/4 partition chase. And we're going to delete this interior layer of 5/8, so we only have a finish on one side, and then hit OK. And it is 4 1/4, so we're good. And so the reason we're doing this is because we're going to make a double wall that allows it. It's easier for plumbing to get their plumbing risers into the wall and other fixtures. So like we're going to use a toilet that's wall mounted, or it won't be mounted on the wall, but there's going to be a interior frame that is actually going to support the toilet sticking through the wall. So anyway, they'll just need some more room. So before you place your wall, make sure you're on level 1 with a negative or with a 0 offset, and then up to level 2 with a -6 offset. And go ahead and pick anywhere on the left here, and just drag it over here to the right. And you can drag that over about, we'll just do 37 feet now, just to be safe. I'm going to throw a dimension, so DI for dimension. Or you can come up here to the align dimension, and we'll throw a dimension on here just to the face of the bathroom wall. And hit WA to get access the wall again, or go up to architecture and hit wall. And we're going to place a wall on this opposite side. And so the purpose of this wall is for, again, plumbing, and it's also to cover up these columns. So let's throw another dimension on here. I'm going to make this wall, let's see, 1'4", I think should get us, actually let's do 1 foot. Yeah, so just at the face of this column, you can see we've got about 1 inch or 2 from the back of the wall. And then this side, we want to, let's do 1 foot and see where that puts us. I think that should be good. So that we're covering up this column. So if we can select this bottom wall, right click on the little ground grip and disallow join. And we'll do the same thing on this wall up here. Right click on the little grip and disallow join. I'm going to trim extend on the modify tab to the face of this wall so that it lines up to the face of that wall. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this other side. And so that will have this kind of area sealed off. And then the overall width of the bathroom was about 12'8". So let's just mirror these walls across. I'm going to use mirror by drawing an axis. And then I'm going to also put these 1 foot across, 1 foot from the center of this column, and we'll see where that kind of gives our overall bathroom width. So we got 19 feet, and what I said, 12'8". So we're going to need to go over a little bit more. So I'm going to select both these walls. Then up at the top left, I'm going to activate dimension, and I'm going to, what did we say, 19 feet? Oh, I only need 12 feet. Let's see. That's fine, actually. We'll still select both these walls. We're going to change this overall height to 13 feet. And we'll just add column furring around these walls here. All right, so I'm going to right click on this wall. I'm going to hit S. Actually, we'll automatically select create similar, or you can right click on this wall and create similar. And actually, I'm going to put this wall in front of our stair wall. I'm actually going to undo this by clicking the little T there, or right click on here to allow join, and I'm going to join these two walls together. And just do the same thing, use fillet or trim corner is what they're called here. I'm going to allow join for these two walls. I'm going to throw a dimension on here from the face of the stair wall to the face of this wall we just drew. I'm going to make that 6 inches. We're not going to need as much room here, but I want to keep this wall. This wall will have to be rated, so we want to keep that wall kind of separate from this bathroom wall. And I am going to trim extend this wall to the face of the stair wall. So up here, trim extend single element. Select the face of the stair and trim that wall there. So the next thing we're going to do, I'm going to hit wall again, WA for wall, or architecture tabs, wall. And I'm going to use that chase wall, that shaft partition that we had here. And then I'm going to edit type, because it's a 6-inch wall. Let's see, how will that be? That 6-inch wall, I think, will be a, let's duplicate this and make it a 4-inch wall instead of a 6-inch wall. So this will be 5 1/4. We'll go to edit structure. So we'll make it 5 1/4 shaft partition, and we'll change that to 4. Oops, that'll be actually 3, because so the shaft stud will be 4 inches, but there'll be a channel. We looked at that. I think when we did the shaft wall, there will be a layer of a core board that's inside of the wall cavity, inside of the stud cavity actually. So it'll make it an overall 4-inch total, and 5 1/4. Yep, 5 1/4 width. And here we'll just start at this bottom corner. Let's do finish face exterior when we're making these. And then we can go up here and align it with the face of this wall. Looks like we'll have to align, AL to align, or go up to your modify tab and hit align. And right click, create similar, and we can do the same thing down here. And then we'll just trim corner, TR to trim corner. Also going to right click and disallow join at this end that's next to the stair. And then we'll trim single. Actually, we can trim double or trim multiple, trim extend multiple. Grab the face of the stairwell and trim both those walls back. You can hit escape when you're done. And so that gives us a shaft wall here. So we've got a 2R rated shaft here. This will allow plumbing and ducts to use these chases and then this shaft to run their equipment up and down the building. Alrighty, so let's start modeling our bathrooms. First thing I'm going to put in, I'm just going to kill this dimension. We'll actually do an enlarged plan. And to create certain families with the that aren't part of like a wall or a beam or framing, you can add on the architecture tab under component is where we can place building components. So like the partitions and all those things are specialty equipment, and those can be added by clicking just that component tab. And so we don't have any of these loaded in yet. And so we'll go to load family and we'll browse out to wherever you keep your Revit families. It's good to kind of keep your own library and to put them in folders similar to the default families. So we put them in specialty equipment, and we can actually load multiple ones at the same time. So let's see, I've got some extra families from when I was creating this the first time. Let's see, I'm going to sort them by date. So all the ones that I downloaded here. So we'll download all of these. You can actually put in multiple ones at the same time. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm just going to make sure that that's how many we downloaded from Moodle. So I'm missing one. Oh yes, we're missing the sink, and that's in a different folder. So this is good. So we'll insert all these. Often you can see that they're being upgraded. They don't need to update their Revit families that often because they're not going to change unless the equipment changes. So Revit is not backwards compatible, but it will upgrade any of the families, as you can see. When you insert them into the model, it'll tell you that it's upgrading it from whatever year they created it into 2021. But also, they are not backwards compatible. So if you had a family created in 2021 and you were trying to put them into a 2016, 2018, anything lower, 2020 and lower, they will not work. It'll say that family doesn't work because it was created in a newer version of Revit. So let's select this partition standard stall. And actually, we don't want the standard stall. We want the ADA stall. Did I not load that in? Or maybe that's the one, maybe I've got the wrong family loaded up on there, which is good. That's why it's good to test these things out directly the way from where you guys are doing them. So I'm going to change that link right now. Get the link. And you guys shouldn't have to do this because this will be the correct family. When you go to download it. So I'm just downloading this again just to make sure that it is the correct family. I'm going to go to File. Actually, not my File, sorry. Architecture, Component, Load Family. And I want this ADA stall. So the ADA stall has obviously the stall for the ADA required toilet partition. There we go. You can see that bigger partition on the end. I'm going to kill this one. And as you can see, it's got some instructions. There is an instructional file before that you can look at from the website. And here it's just showing you that this note, you can either turn it off in the visibility graphics, or we can actually turn it off on this in this family directly. So if you go to edit type, you can see instructions on off visibility and uncheck that, and that note will go away. So what we're going to do here is we're going to place this in the corner here. And before I do that, I'm going to turn off the right panel. And it'll turn off that end panel. And I'm going to turn off the left panel, because we're going to put this up against the wall. So you can go to Modify tab, Align, and then pick the face of this wall. And then there will be a hidden line here that you can align this partition to, and then same back here. So it'll be off of the wall a little bit, because most of us have been in bathrooms, but there'll usually be a little space. Oops, that didn't quite work. Let me just move it. I'm going to move it, I think, because there's this adjustable parameter. So we aligned that instead of aligning the actual entire wall or entire partition. So we can see what happens when I manually move that. So looks like they've got a parameter in this family that does something that I don't immediately see what it is. So we're going to select this, and we're going to hit move instead of align. And we're going to pick this hidden line here and bring that back to the face of that wall. We could go into this family and see how they created it and see what this line is. It's probably something that's hidden. Maybe there's like a back wall that they have that's unchecked. But I'm not super worried about it. And so that's our toilet partition here. And let's add, let's go ahead and add 8. So we've got 8 toilet partitions here. I'm going to check something here too. I'm going to see if I can just give it 1, but I bet it'll blow up. Nope. I'm going to move this over 5 feet. And I'm going to, let's see, turn on the right panel of this one. So I copied one down and I just put 1 stall. Yeah, that works. And I'm going to move this in here so that we can have 2 handicap stalls here. I'm just going to line, I'm going to try to get the face of this partition if I can. If it'll let me. It won't. That's okay. I'm going to turn this right panel on here. So I can get this right panel in so I can use it to align my, oops, must be the left panel, sorry. So I'm just going to move, and I'm going to select there, and then I'm going to move this partition. It's hard, doesn't seem like they have it set up so you can get a way to attach the so you they don't have it set up so that you can grab the endpoint of these. So we'll just kind of move it over using the kind of invisible lines that they have. I'm going to select this one again and move this one over to align it together there. I am going to turn off the right panel on our little one so we don't have a double panel here. And on this one, I'm going to remove one stall so that we'll have 7 here. It seems like this will be a fun family to look at to see how they've used array and visibility to turn off and on the different features they have here. All right, so now we've got 2 ADA stalls. We copied this one just in case I went too fast. And I made this just have 1 stall, which is just leaving this ADA stall. And then we turned off both panels, the left and the right, and then we added it here in the corner by using these kind of invisible lines to line it up with the wall. So the next thing we're going to do is, obviously this would be uncomfortable to come walking in and not have a stall there. So I'm going to draw another wall. I'm going to start by choosing this 4 7/8 partition, 1 hour. I'm going to edit type and duplicate that. So edit type on the family, on the properties palette. And I'm just going to delete the 1 hour. And make sure it's 3 5/8. Yep, with board on both sides. And so it's the same as the rated, except that it's not. It just doesn't have that 1 hour rated. And we're going to draw this line here to be about, draw it 6 feet. And then I'm going to hit Align, AL, or come up here to Modify tab. I'm going to find that invisible line that's just off the side of the partition, and then align that face of the wall there. So let's look back at our book and kind of get the dimensions here. So this is like, that was about right. So they got 5'9" for this wall to stick out. 4 foot kind of clear for our doorless entry. So we'll do the same thing. So I'm just going to copy this wall over. Let's see, it'd be 4 foot, 4.875. It's because this was, yep, 4 7/8 partition. So that should give us 4 foot clear, and it does. And I'm going to move this over 1 more inch. It's a good idea in these type of things to give a little bit more for construction tolerances. So I just trimmed corner with this shaft wall that we've got here. Actually, I'm going to trim for this lower chase wall. And I'm just going to drag the end of this wall out. And I'm going to make this, throw a dimension from the face of this chase wall to the face of this partition. And oops, that was 4 inches, not 4 feet. We'll make that 4. Let's make this 4'6". And I'm going to copy this wall that we had initially. So that'll be, we did the 8. Well, we'll just copy it over here. And you can actually use these temporary dimensions. That'll be center to center. And you can actually move these temporary dimensions. And I've seen some of you guys do that as I've worked with you online. I don't always do that. I often just will like to throw on a dimension and then delete it afterwards. But that's kind of up to you. Also, if you notice these temporary dimensions, you can make them actual dimensions by clicking the little dimension line underneath that. So if you hover over it, it says make this temporary dimension permanent. We're going to make this a 4'1", and I'm going to trim corner by hitting TR or coming up here and trim extend quarter on the modify tab. And I'm just going to trim extend that wall there. And so now we've got our little doorless entry. So the next thing we're going to do, let's add some plumbing fixtures. So let's see, if we go to our systems tab, we can, right in the middle, there's a plumbing fixture. We can select that. And it says no plumbing fixtures family is loaded in the project. Would you like to load one now? And we'll hit yes. And we'll go up to this plumbing fixtures. We'll load the sink. And you can see the little sink that we're going to load. Let's hit spacebar twice so that the it's flipped around so we can place it on this back wall. And let's load in another plumbing fixture. This time we're going to hit plumbing fixture and we'll go to load family because we can load, Autodesk should have in the Imperial library under plumbing fixtures or just plain plumbing, architectural fixtures, and we want water closets, which is a fancy name for toilet. So we'll just use this toilet commercial wall 3D toilet. Hit open. And now we can actually just add a bunch of toilets to this this wall here. And as you can see, we're using that. We're doing the women's bathroom first. So we have no urinals. So this sink, let's see. Yeah, so I think what we're going to do, well, I think we'll have 3 sinks along here. So let's go ahead and copy the sink, giving a little space in between CC to copy or CO to copy. And then we can have our sinks in here. And let's space them equally across this wall. Just going to grab the centers here with 1 string of dimensions and then select equal. And I don't like that actually. I want more space in here to put a hand dryer in between. So let's make this 3 feet. Oops, not 3 feet to the center. Make that 6 feet. I'm just trying to locate them so that they're spaced enough so that we can have some fixtures in between there. And I believe what we'll need is, I'm going to draw a detail line. Let's just look at our book here real quick. So I think we're going to need a 48 by 30. Oops, I went the wrong way. Just going to rotate this around 90 degrees. So yeah, I think those dimensions will work good to get us enough clear space for a wheelchair to get in there. So let's do that. We'll do 6'6" from the center to the center of the sinks from the wall. And this overall dimension, let's check just to make sure it's 33 feet. Oh, that works perfect about, because our kind of example was 32 feet plus or minus. And just make sure we have enough space kind of here in the middle. Yeah, we do. All right, let's delete that. So it's starting to look like a bathroom. Let's add some of our other fixtures in here. So let's go to Component on the Architecture tab. And let's add the grab bar. Did I not load in the grab bar? I didn't. That's good. I needed to add another download. So again, this will be a you won't have to do this again, or you won't have to do this. I'll have this link to this grab bar on Moodle, so when we do that initial download, everything, it'll be there. Yeah, and that was just in a subfolder, which is why it didn't get added. So here, I'll get this link. This will give you some time to get caught up modeling. So the grab bar is required in the ADA portion of the in the toilet stall. And I'm just downloading it through Moodle again just to make sure that I have the right family and link. So now we can come back here to Component. Good idea to save when it asks you to. Let's load family. And we'll go back to our local Revit files that we've downloaded. And we can grab this grab bar. No pun intended. And so you can see it's a double grab bar for a corner here. So let's hover over the wall until it snaps into the correct location here. Oop, there it was. It hit spacebar to toggle its position, and we'll just get it close enough to the wall. Use the Align tool, AL, or Align on the Modify tab to get this grab bar in the correct location. Let's look at the book. Just want to make sure our stall, so 18 inches, I believe, to the center of the toilet. And yeah, here it says 16 to 18 inches. So I'm going to hit DI. Throw a dimension on there, and I'm just going to do 0.18. And let's copy it to this other stall. Add a dimension to the face here, and we'll make that 18 inches as well. I'm changing the stall width to 5'6". So if you select the ADA stall, then down here you can see the ADA stall width, and let's make that 5'6". I feel as though that there needs to be a bit more room in these ADA stalls. We can actually window over all of this stuff here. Move it over 6 inches. And same thing with this wall. Move this over 6 inches as well. And these walls will have to move over a foot. And again, I like to double check often. 4'1", yeah, I think we're good. So these are a little bit bigger to accommodate the ADA requirements. You can see the other dimensions here. And this first ADA stall, I'm going to change the stall depth to 5 feet as well. Actually, let's make this 5'6". Similar to our width. We've got the room in this bathroom to do it, so let's do it. Yep, I think I like that better. A little bit more roomy. And I'm just going to take a dimension off of here. We're going to need, I think, about 5 feet, because you want somebody to be able to turn around in here in a wheelchair. And a 5 foot. So if you hit DL for, I'm going to just make this hidden line. Give that a 2'6" diameter, so we have our turning radius in here. You don't have to put this in here. I just want to have that in here. So, and I think our stalls are big enough. So in here, instead of the turning radius, they would probably have the turning triangle or T, I think. Again, we can look at our there's different approaches and different clearances that you can have, but I think in this bathroom that there is in this stall there is enough for the turning or the ADA accessibility movement. But in code they would tell us that anyway, so we'll leave it at that. So we got a couple more things to add. So if we go back to our architecture tab, components, and so we've got our grab bar. So here's a hand dryer. Let's see. Let's pick this 230 volt hand dryer and we'll place it on the wall here. And it's not going to show up. And that's okay. What we're going to do next, actually, go ahead and window over your restroom. And we'll come up here to selection box and pick that. It's going to overwrite our default 3D view. So if you want to save that, make sure and duplicate it before you do this. I'm going to move my my view box around, and I'm actually going to also change, let's see, I'm going to right click on the walls, and then override graphics and view by category, which just allows me to go into the visibility graphics without having to like actually go on there. So I'm going to hit apply so I can get my walls 50% transparent. So I don't think I actually showed that. Hold on. Override graphics and view by category, which means that it's actually changing our visibility graphics to have that to have whatever we change in this. And so we're setting this transparency in the middle to 50% so we can kind of see through the walls. And then hit OK once you've changed it. You can either use the bar or type in 50. And then you can reset it later by here or going into your visibility graphics. So we'll go back to architecture tab, component. Hand dryer should already be selected. And we'll just pick the wall in between here. I'm going to select it again and then give it a 4-foot offset. And interestingly, so if you go back to the website, the manufacturer's website, it will tell you the mounting height. And so I believe when I looked at it previously, the mounting height is 4 feet to the bottom of this opening here. So let's go back to our plan view, and we're going to change our view range so we can see it. So right now we can't see it, and I'm guessing because that view range is below that. So let's change the view range to 5 feet. Hit apply, and there we can see our hand dryer. Just going to throw on a dimension here, and space it equally between there. Before you delete this dimension, uncheck equal. Or if you delete this dimension, because this is a problem that a couple people are having with their columns being stuck, hit unconstrained. If you hit OK, it will leave the equal constraint. And then you'll have this, so every time you move these, so if I were to hit OK, if I were to move this, it's going to move that hand dryer. It's going to keep it equal distance between there, but you can't see unless it's selected. So if you have elements selected, it's a light blue EQ and a light blue dashed lines. So I'm going to hit undo, So if you hit have equal dimension and you just delete them, you need to hit unconstrain so that it removes that equal constraint. Now I can move it without it being constrained. So I can copy this hand dryer. Over here. I think we need one in there. Nah. I think that 3 is good. And so the next equipment. Oh, before we do that, let's do a couple things here. So I'm going to go to View tab, and I want to throw in an elevation here. I'm going to just check out this bathroom elevation. To make sure we're good. So what I'm doing is just looking at the ADA portion and looking for the C mounting height. So the C mounting height looks like it's 34 inches maximum. Oops, that was 34 feet. That's not going to work. And then I believe that bow brick was 4 feet to that bottom of the this hand thing. So it looks good. I'm gonna kill this elevation. I just wanted to check that. Hit OK to delete it. I selected both elevation bubble and the arrow to delete it, or you could have come over here and just hit delete. Let's add some more components and then we'll be almost done. We got our hand dryer. And then a sanitary napkin dispenser. We want free operation. I don't actually know where these go since I don't think I've ever been in a ladies' restroom. We'll see right here by the door so you can get it and then go to the stall. I picked that wall and it was invisible, or it said it was not visible in the view. So let's go to our 3D view to see where it placed it. And it placed it just like really high on the wall. And it says it's 4 feet, but I'm going to guess that we'll place it at 0 so that it mounts it at the correct height. Each family will be different. So like these are set to be 4 feet from elevation to put it at the correct height. So if I were to change this one to 0, it's going to be in the floor. So this one actually has to be 4 feet. And this dispenser will need to be 0 because they've given it a 4'6" mounting height, which is likely, if you were to look at their documentation, the correct mounting height. So, went to our 3D view, fix that. Let's go back to our level 1 floor plan. Now we can see it in the view. And I'm just going to equal that up on the wall. Makes it 4'3". See, I made it equal and I immediately unchecked equal. So now if I delete the dimension, it won't even ask me about that. And as you can see here, this recessed fixture is sticking out of the other side of the wall, which will not be good. So what that means for us is we're going to take this 4 7/8 interior partition and we're going to create a 6-inch non-rated partition. So let's edit type, duplicate, And so it'll be a 6-inch wall, so this will be 7 1/4. So 7 1/4 would be 5/8 plus 6 and plus another 5/8 for 7 1/4. This will be non-rated. So let's fix up our wall dimensions here again. Again, we want the 4-foot one. So I'm going to select both this wall and that wall so I can maintain this 4-foot one. Activate the dimensions, hit 4-foot one, and it moves both those walls back. All right, so let's go back to our component. And for this one, we want the toilet seat dispenser with a 3579-1 because it will have the sanitary napkin disposal. So we're going to want to put these on each of the stalls here. I'm not sure what this height is. So maybe 5 feet is the correct mounting height. We'll take a look at that. I'm going to go to my 3D view and just check out the placement. I think I want to flip it. Oh, before we do this, so let's center our toilet in these in between the stall here. So again, I'm going to throw the dimension on, hit equal, and then remove the equal constraint. So I've got 1'6". And I'm going to delete these other toilets because I've got the one that's equal now, and I should be able to just copy it straight across without having to equal, use the dimension to make them equal on each one. I already know that first one is equal, and so if I copy to the same point, I know they'll all be equal. Just going to delete these other two. And so my thinking is that these two, the toilet paper dispensers will be closer to the toilet, and the garbage can and the cowboy hat dispenser will be centered here. So I think that's where we want it. Yeah, but that does put a problem with the door. So let's move this back to the other side. I'm just going to delete it and then replace it on this side. I'm just going to hit copy, and I'll just copy this to the other partitions. That's fine. It's just saying it's not lying on that wall host. Like if I pick edit work plane, pick a plane, and pick the face of this wall, it will now be connected to that wall. Let's see. I'll pick new host. Let's see if it's connected now. Nope. That's fine. I don't really care if it's connected. So it's weird that it isn't connecting. Sometimes I just can't leave well enough alone. Pick new. Pick the face of that wall. There we go. For some reason it just did not want to attach to that wall. And at these ADA ones, actually, we have to be more careful because they need to be within reach of the toilets. So in reality, we would probably want to select a different fixture here that's more ADA compliant. I'm not entirely sure that that is going to be in reach of somebody. So I think, according to our little map here, it's got to be 42-inch max to this, to the fixtures in here. So it looks like that's to the back side. So I guess this would work. And I'm just going to line all of these up with this one here. So you can align multiple. You just have to remember to uncheck it when you're done, or you'll go to a line and it'll be selected to the last plane that you worked off of, so which can be kind of annoying. So I'm going to delete that, and we'll just do detail component to make sure it gets attached to that side. Go into the 3D view to see if it'll select better. For some reason, the plan that one side did not want to select that wall face. So it looks like mounting height should be 5 feet. So we can go and check these. And let's set them all to 5 feet. Oops. That was 8 feet. And again, it would be a good idea to double check the fixture mounting heights per the manufacturer to make sure that we're mounting these at the correct height. But we're not going to worry about all that right now. I feel like we have enough things to worry about, and then we're another video over an hour. Alright, so let's make sure we've got all of our fixtures that we loaded in. Yep, looks like we got everything. And so what we can do now is we can mirror this bathroom and this shaft actually too. I'm going to hover over this wall, hit tab, select both walls, and kind of just select all of our walls and our equipment, holding Control to select multiple. I'm going to select those walls, hit MM to mirror, and then mirror it to the other side through grid 5, or the center grid. And then we got a bathroom on both sides. So but this is going to be a male restroom, so we'll select all of our Bobrick dispensers, change it to this other one. I can select, actually I'm going to go to my 3D view. I'm going to select my section box, drag it over so I can get the other one. Double check, yep. No sanitary disposal on these ones. And we also don't need the dispenser for the male restroom, so you can delete that. But everything else should stay the same, except for, let's go to the restroom. Let's kill make it 4 stalls. Oh yeah, hold on, before we do that, let's delete some of these so it doesn't give us a warning. Yeah, that should be good. Delete these stalls. So make this 4 stalls. Still might give us the warning. Yeah, that's okay. And we will want to add this, select this partition and put the right panel back on. And then we're going to load in the urinals. Did we already do that? Let me check. We did not. So we can go back to System at the top, the System tab, Plumbing Fixture, Load Family. Let's go find us a urinal. Go to the Plumbing folder, Architectural, Fixtures, and Urinals. We want a 3D urinal, because why not? Open, and then really all we have to do now, you can hit Escape after we've loaded it, and change these to urinals. Now the next thing we'll do is, I believe we did load in a urinal partition. So scroll up, and it looks like we've got, I'm going to just type in urinal. There we go, partition, urinal, screen. I like a bit more privacy. So that's the middle range one, the 17 by 48. And we can just set these here in the middle. And I'm going to throw some dimensions on here. So I'm going to throw the dimensions from the center of these partitions if I can. Now we'll do the face, outside face to outside face is 3'1", and we'll set these partitions to be the same. So this will be 3'1", so 3 space 1. Select the next one, 3 space 1. Now we've got some toilet partitions. And that is it for the bathrooms. You think, is there anything I'm missing? I don't think so. I think before we do this, let's try to make this into a group, because I like to make things group but as we found out, sometimes things just groups in Revit can be kind of finicky. So I'm going to do the same thing over here. Select it, and I'm going to make this a big group. Make sure to deselect any walls that we don't want. So basically we want our shaft walls and all of the bathroom walls, fixtures. And once we do that, you can type GP for group, or up here in this create, there'll be the group tab. And I'm just going to name it core, or just call it bathrooms. Give it a Control C. It seems like it doesn't always work. I'm not sure why that is. I'll select these again just to be sure. Control C, or up here, copy to clipboard, paste, align to selected levels, and 2 through 4, and hit OK. And one more thing before we're done. Let's go to level 2. Make sure our bathroom's copied in fine. Looks like they did. And on level 2, let's add. So I think we omitted this little wall, but I think what we'll do here is we'll just make this a storage room. So I'm going to copy this little wing wall that we have here. Copy that. Go to my modify tab. Paste, align to selected levels. 2 through 4. And then we can trim our stairwell. Oops. Make sure when you do trim corner or fillet, I like to call it, make sure to get the side that you want to keep. Oops, I forgot about this little back wall. Also, the door needs to be on the other side as well. So I'm going to mirror this door across. So we have a door on both sides. I'm going to copy this wall, copy these doors. Control C. We go to level 2. Just paste, align to current view, or same place. I don't think the Control C worked. I'm just going to copy these walls and door again. I'm going to use the copy up here. Copy the clipboard. Paste, align to selected levels, and we'll just do level 2 to make sure it works this time. For some reason it's not wanting to copy the doors. Copy, go to level 2, and just paste, align to same place. Weird. Don't know why it doesn't want to copy those doors. I'll check out my 3D view. And I'm going to hit uncheck section box. Undo everything and do section box again so I can get my section box around just the entire building. Just going to bring this cut from the west side forward just to and check things out. Make sure it's not pasting doors or trying to paste doors in a weird place. Yeah, just doesn't want to paste those doors. Oh, Revit, you fickle mistress. So I'm going to try something else, because there shouldn't be any reason why it doesn't want to copy. Just going to stretch my section so I can cut just in front of both of these where the doors are supposed to be. Go to view, select these doors. As you can see, there's more than one way to skin a cat, possibly. Can't place insert outside of host. Well, fine. We'll just have to. Something does look weird here, though. Oh, it's because I'm cutting through the actual wall. This does not want me to put those walls there. Fine, Revit. Let's do it the hard way. I'm going to hit DR for door. Use that same door. And I believe looks like it's 2'1" to the center. So we can just select the door. I'm going to mirror this door. It's funny that it lets me mirror it. I'm going to try to copy these doors. Control C. Actually, I'm going to copy this door. Oh no, I'll need to copy these walls first. Unless I already did that. Hold on, let me check. Oh, I just need to copy that back wall. So back to level 2. Let's copy this back wall, or level 2. Copy this back wall. Copy, paste, line to select the levels. We'll do 3 and 4. Let's trim these walls. TR is the trim command that I'm using, or you can come up here to the trim corner. And let's go to level 4. Fix these walls up. And I'm going to try to copy these doors up. Like I said, there's no reason they shouldn't copy, but line to selected levels 3 and 4, and same error. No error, of course. For some reason it'll let us do it though. There's something up. I know it's frustrating, but often there is a reason that these things happen. And sometimes it's just hard to tell. So yeah, so now we've got our bathrooms in here. I'm just gonna go back to my 3D view, kill these other levels I don't need anymore. And it looks like we've got some bathrooms on every floor. And these groups, that group seemed to work just fine. Except for this top group. Good thing you reminded me. This top group, I am going to edit type, duplicate, bathrooms level 5, or level 4, sorry. And then I'm going to edit group up here at the top. And then I can window over all this because it'll only be whatever's in the group. Filter, check none, walls. So instead of the -6 to the top of roof, we want -1.5. Because as you know, the roof deck is much smaller at the roof level because it's just a deck. So we can hit finish. And that should be done. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, and we'll move on to the next video. Thank you, guys.